An investigation has found that Donald Trump routinely inflated the value of his real estate holdings. So wait, are you telling me that this guy
could be the most popular person in Europe?
I'm a professional in technology.
There are those that think I'm a very stable genius.
I know more about drones than anybody.
Nobody in the history of this country has ever known so much about infrastructure as Donald Trump.
And I think I know more about the environment than most people.
That's the guy that inflated his own value? I'm sorry, but I just find that hard to believe. Trump has landed himself a trial date the day before Super Tuesday. Now, the funniest thing that could possibly happen that day is if Ron DeSantis rents a plane to fly a banner over the courthouse that says, "Stop scowling, Don." A potential prison sentence is going to send a tough message to Trump and his accomplices that crime does not pay and it's not worth... Oh, this just in, Billy McFarland, who spent the last 5 years in prison for the Fyre Festival fraud, announced that the first 100 tickets to Fyre Festival 2 sold out within a day. McFarland clearly learned a lot from his last Fyre Festival because ticket prices are exactly the same, except this time there are no announced bands, accommodations, or food. Holy cheese sandwich, Batman! The location for the event is listed as Somewhere in the Caribbean, which is also the title of Jeffrey Epstein's sex tape. Expect this event to be a lot like a slot machine that takes a lot of your money, makes a lot of noise, and then somebody walks over and tapes an out of order sign on it. This just in, Trump has lied about something? Wow, just when you think you know a guy. Trump said he'd heard a rumor that DeSantis was dropping out of the race. DeSantis responded by firing some campaign staffers, but that's kind of how he responds to everything these days. Lo mein didn't come with soy sauce? Bye-bye, staffers. Polling shows a 3-point bump for Ramaswamy. Don't let the door hitch on the way out, campaign team. But that's not the only bad news for Ron. At a recent vigil for victims of the Jacksonville shooting in Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis was booed during his remarks.
Death are on your hands!
Well, thank you for doing this. I want to just say to the councilwoman.
Apparently, insisting everything is fine for black people is not going well when confronted with actual black people. According to some right-wingers, Trump's status as an accused felon has given him street cred with black people.
I think this is endearing, especially many black men, to President Trump.
As one black lady I spoke with earlier today here in New Orleans said, Trump's a gangster.
The mugshot unintentionally created a bond between Donald Trump and black Americans. Today, my garbage man told me he's buying mugshot T-shirts for everyone he knows this Christmas.
Reach for comment, black people, well, they actually couldn't be reached for comment because they were too busy booing Ron DeSantis. They've scheduled subsequent booings for this new thing early next week. They have been busy. A Georgia Republican said in an interview that Trump has the moral compass of an axe murderer.
He's got the moral compass more like an axe murderer than a president. We need to do something right here, right now. This is either our pivot point or our last gasp as Republicans.
The National Axe and Chainsaw Murderers Association responded with, "Hey, leave us out of this. What did we ever do to you? Besides all the, When asked about Vivek Ramaswamy being his possible running mate, Trump gave him the ringing endorsement of,
He could be in some form of something.
A blushing Ramaswamy thanked the president for the incredibly nice compliment. Meanwhile, a visibly enraged Marjorie Taylor Greene grabbed a golf club and stormed out to wait in the alleyway behind Ramaswamy's campaign headquarters. A few minutes later, she was joined by Carrie Lake holding a 7-iron. Speaking of everyone's new favorite candidate, Vivek Ramaswamy has been forbidden from rapping Lose Yourself on the campaign trail by rapper Eminem. Grateful Republicans everywhere have written Eminem letters of thanks. Mitch glitched again at a press conference.
What are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026?
When Dianne Feinstein heard the news, she immediately called Theodore Roosevelt to tell him about it. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez has dropped out of the presidential race. For more on this story, we have the one person who was going to vote for Suarez, Jen Haston. Jen, how you doing?
I am destroyed. I really wanted Francis Suarez to be president.
I know, I'm sorry.
Everyone's favorite candidate just dropped out of the race.
Well, I don't know about everyone.
I feel so lost. What am I going to do now?
Well, there are plenty of other candidates to vote for. If you like people with terrible name recognition, maybe try Doug Flurgum.
Who?
Exactly. The point is, Jen, you're gonna be okay. I know how much Francis Suarez's candidacy meant to you, and only you. But now, you gotta pick up the pieces of your shattered heart and move on.
You're right. Maybe I'll look up this Doug Splurgum guy and see what he thinks about China?
Oh, he's got some opinions about China. Jen Haston, everybody. Rudy G, which is short for Rudy G, what a fucking mess you've made, has been found liable for defaming 2 innocent Georgia election workers. A jury will now determine the amount of damages Giuliani owes, and newsflash, he ain't got those millions. Rudy, if you're hurting for dough, have you considered NFTs of yourself in an array of unrealistic settings? Like you in a ballroom at the Four Seasons Hotel, for example. This just in, Peter Navarro is a weak-ass pussy. Yes, this former Trump advisor had a hearing not go his way and decided to take it out on a protester sign. The results were hilarious.
Is CNN here? Anybody want to own up to that? Here's the problem.
Hero.
Who's this? Come on.
Bro,
Get me out.
you're already
Come
facing
on.
charges.
Yeah, I get it.
Go ahead and commit
So,
crime.
so,
I've been sitting here this whole time. Situational.
Yes, okay.
Why?
You know, they say to pick your battles, but they forgot to tell Peter Navarro that the battles you pick should be ones that you actually have a chance of winning. And right now he's losing to the American justice system and a piece of poster board. Hey, Pedro, maybe next time you should take on something easier to beat, like some tissue paper. Vladimir Putin says he's not planning to attend the funeral of Yevgeny Prigozhin, but he has sent a lovely floral arrangement. Turning now to the extremely wide world of sports where the 14th annual Philly Naked Bike Ride took place. This is where competitors in various states of undress jiggle their bits over a 13-mile bike course, wondering if they'll finally discover the difference between a hoagie and a grinder. Spectators call the spectacle delightful and kind of stinky, while bicycle repair shops hurry to post closed signs in their windows until their shipments of bleach arrive. And finally tonight, Pornhub is going after a German restaurant for copyright infringement. But it's actually the bratwurst slingers who are feeling the impact of the similar branding, which has led to some wildly incorrect expectations of their delivery drivers. That wraps up this week's Fenix News Report. Don't forget to subscribe.
Flurgum, Splurgum, Suarez. No, I need you to Flurgum, Spurgum, Lurgum.